Hi everyone, my name is Lucas Mitchell. I'm a young stock specialist with Vita, and today I would like to talk to you about a spring checklist. Now, I know what you're thinking. I picked the perfect backdrop to have a conversation about a spring checklist. It's about 10 degrees out here and I'm standing in 4 inches of snow, but hey, that's the weather in the Midwest. Spring's going to be upon us here shortly. So let's dive into this spring checklist. So the first thing you want to consider is to assess and evaluate all of your milk feeding equipment. So when it's cold outside, we have equipment that can be damaged, etc. As long as it's not a major issue, we might not be in a big hurry to get it fixed right away because it's cold. I know one thing that comes to mind are feed buckets. In this really cold weather, those feed buckets get awfully brittle. We tend to break a lot of those in the winter time. And so as spring rolls around and as temperatures start to warm up, I think now is a good time to take an assessment of those buckets and determine what can be repaired, what needs to be replaced, and let's go ahead and get those ordered so that we're starting off the spring on the right foot. The second thing on your spring checklist, let's evaluate our curtains. So throughout the winter time, the curtains are going to be up most of the time. We're not moving them a whole lot. Let's make sure they're not damaged. Let's make sure there are no holes. If there are, let's get them patched. Let's get them fixed. And besides that, as the weather warms up, we're going to be moving those curtains up and down a whole heck of a lot more. Weather's more inconsistent in the spring, and so with that more curtain movement, we want to make sure that they're operating as well as possible. When things are difficult to do on the farm, they're less likely to get done, and so we know if our curtains are easy to raise and lower, we're more likely to get that done. So that's number 2 that we want to check out. Number 3, let's assess our fans, make sure they're in tip-top shape and ready to go. Let's get the dust off of them. A lot of fans will have a screen on the back of them to block debris and other things from being pulled through the fan. Those tend to have straw and whatnot build up on them. Let's make sure those are all cleaned off. It's a good thing to go ahead and get done in the spring, and then that way as the temperature continues to rise, our fans are good to go and they're going to work as efficiently as possible. Number 4, if we have the nice heavy-duty positive pressure tubes that have the zippers on the end, those can be taken down and blow them out. Spring is a great time to go ahead and get this done. Dust can build up within those tubes. In most cases, we have a screen that blocks the fan, so not too much debris can get pulled in. But we do find that sometimes debris is still pulled in and blown into those tubes. It's not always blown out of the holes, and so we can have debris and buildup that blocks the holes in our tubes. And spring can be a good time to get those cleaned out. And again, make sure they're working as efficiently as possible. Number 5 on our spring checklist is let's think about how we want to manage fly control. It's never too early to think about fly control because if we start to think about it in June or July when we already have a fly problem, well, we're late to the party and we're behind the 8 ball at that point. So we want to think about this now and get a plan in place that we can follow through on as the weather warms and flies become more of an issue. Do we want to have something that's in the milk replacer or in the calf feed as part of a feed-through way of fly control? Do we want to have some secondary treatments that's more of a spray-on topical option? Do we want something that we can apply with a fogger on a annual basis? These are some things we want to consider and get lined up and get a plan in place so that as the weather rises, we can go ahead and move forward with that.